Good evening, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people. Today's January 22nd, 2024. And I have an update for you guys connected to what we were watching on January 11th. January 11th, according to many calculations, could have been the beginning of Hanukkah. And we know that Hanukkah is a second Tabernacles festival. There was also a Tabernacles festival that was celebrated for 2 weeks. And so I want to talk to you about this time frame from January 11th through January 25th and January 26th. The New Year of the Trees is the 15th day of the 11th month, anywhere from January 26th to January 27th. This is connected to the full moon, but the full moon is on the 14th day of the month, and the full moon is January 25th. So we would be watching anywhere from January 25th through January 27th. I want to remind everybody that there were two major blood moons on Tu B'Shavat, one on January 31st, 2018, and the other on January 20th, 2019. Very important blood moons, and this was Tu B'Shavat. So could this be a sign of things to come in the near future? Whenever we have two or more eclipses on the same day or on the same Hebrew date, then we have what could be a sign for something coming in the future. So I want to remind everybody that these two eclipses that happened, January 31st, 2018 and January 20th, 2019, were both on Tu B'Shavat. Now, as we were watching January 11th, 111, and the important sign that is the midday of all the eclipses, 111, here is the detail that leads us to Tu B'Shavat from the beginning of the war. 111 days from the beginning of the war. So we have the connection to January 11th by all the eclipses, and then a 14-day difference from that midpoint of all the eclipses and 111 days from the beginning of the war on October 7th, 2023. Now, I want to talk to you about the 14 days and the 66 days of a female child. Because if Jesus Christ fulfilled the birth ritual of the Messiah, of the male child, when he was born, he was circumcised on the 8th day, well, the female child may be connected to the arrival of the Antichrist, because as we know, the Antichrist has no love for women. In other words, it's a female Antichrist or a gay Antichrist. So in Leviticus chapter 12, we have the connection to the female child of 14 plus 66 days. The other thing we have connected to this is the 66 days in and of themselves may be representative of the number of the beast. So in that way, we can understand it also. So here we have in Leviticus chapter 12, starting in verse 5, "But if she bear a maid child, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks, as in her separation. She shall continue in the blood of her purifying 66 days. And when the days of her purifying are fulfilled, for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring a lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, and a young pigeon or a turtle dove for a sin offering, unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation unto the priest, who shall offer it before the Lord and make an atonement for her, and she shall be cleansed from the issue of her birth. Okay? And so here we have 14 days, a cleansing period, and then 66 days, and then it talks about the sacrifice or the offering of a lamb or of other types of animals at the end of this 80-day period, okay? So I want to show you that from January 11th, we have the 14 days going to Tu B'Shavat, and then if we go forward 66 days, it brings us to Resurrection Sunday. Resurrection Sunday in 2024 is Sunday, March 31st, 2024. January 25th, we have the 14 days from January 11th. Then we have 66 days to Resurrection Sunday. Could this be the connection to the offering of the Lamb connected to Resurrection Sunday at the end of the 80 days? Okay. January 25th is the full moon. It's called the wolf moon on January 25th. And Proverbs chapter 7, verses 19 and 20 says, my husband isn't at home. He's gone on a long trip. He took a bag of money with him, and he won't be back till the moon is full. The appointed day or the full moon. This is what it says. The good man of the house is not at home. He's gone away on a long journey. He took his money with him, and he won't be back until the full moon. Is this the full moon we have been waiting for the return of the good man on January 25th? Tu B'Shavat, from the full moon of January 25th through January 26th and 27th, we have a 3-day window that we need to be watchful of. And here is this information in 1 Kings chapter 8, verses 65 and 66. So Shlomo celebrated the festival at that time. All Israel, a huge gathering that had come all the way from the entrance of Hamat to the valley of Egypt, celebrated with him before Adonai our God for 7 days, and then for 7 more days, 14 days in all. On the 8th day he sent the people away. They blessed the king and returned to their tents full of joy and glad of heart for all the goodness Adonai had shown to David his servant and to Israel his people. So after verse 65, when it says 14 days in all, then it goes to verse 66. As I just showed you from Leviticus chapter 12, we have 14 days and then 66 days. And now in this chapter where it shows a tabernacles festival that was celebrated twice as long as normal, instead of 7 days, it was 14 days. And so just after it says this tabernacles festival was celebrated for 14 days, then it goes to verse 66. Even here, the 14 is connected to the 66. Do you understand what I'm sharing with you? And so we have the connection from January 11th to January 25th, 14 days. Then we have 66 days to Resurrection Sunday of March 31st. This could be connected to a 14-day extended tabernacles festival